everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Jennifer. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about how my solo female travel experience has deepened my relationship with God. Uh, how can I start this? Because I just had so much beautiful encounters with God and faith and the people that I have met through the journey of traveling. I started traveling way back when I was a child and traveling with family to Dominican Republic. And 9 years ago, when I came to the Lord and surrendered my life to Jesus and born again, all of a sudden there was a heart desire in me that God placed for me to go to the Holy Land, to go to Israel. And I was praying, especially as a beginner and just walking with the Lord and born again. And the opportunity came about that to go to Israel, go to the Holy Land with Hillsong worship. And that was 9 years ago. So I was praying to God, like, God, I really want to go to the Holy Land. I want to go to where you walk, Jesus. I want to go where, you got baptized. I want to get baptized in the Jordan River too. And I want to walk where you walked, everything. I want to be there. So I was telling all my friends, like, hey, I want to go to this trip to Israel. Like, you want to go? Here's the information and everything. And I was asking around, like, if you want to go with me, you want to come with me. And some were like, no, they couldn't make it because of jobs, finances, etc. And the dates were not in the line to when they had vacation. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to go. I'm going to go by myself. And I feel a pull in my spirit that God is calling me to go to this trip, even if I don't know anybody, even if I going by myself and I don't have friends to go with me. Like, I'm just gonna go. And I know God is gonna protect me. He's gonna take care of me. And mind you, I never flown international to go in like Israel. The most international that I've been traveling to before this was going to Dominican Republic, which where my original family is from. My parents are from there, so we usually go every year to Dominican Republic. So all of a sudden this was the first trip going international, to like 13-hour flight. Never flown that long in my life. So, but it was like God was giving me courage and boldness at the same time to just go and not wait on anybody, because he was calling me to go to his land. And mind you, before this, I was so scared and fearful of flights. I remember when I would go on the plane before departing from New York to Dominican Republic, I will be sweating bullets. I will be trembling. I will be like, oh, I can't wait until I land to the Dominican Republic. I will be so nervous. I don't know if y'all have this fear of flying or used to have, but it was just like I was sweating bullets. I couldn't wait. And it was a short flight. It was only like 3 hours and a half, and I would be so scared. But this time around, it was God literally gave me courage and boldness to like be on the plane for 13 plus hours, because it is a flight from New York to Israel, a long flight. And I said yes. I signed up. And when I tell you, that was my first trip, you can say solo female traveling experience, I met so many wonderful people there that I'm still connected till this day. And I was just so thankful that I was able to go experience that with Jesus and get baptized in the Jordan River. I wasn't attached to anybody. I would go to wherever I wanted to go, and met so many friendships that I believe if I would have gone with someone that, like a friend or someone that I knew, I would have not have those friendships. I would have not have been open to meeting other people, right? Because If I would have been with someone else, I will be focused on that person and being always with that person and just like, oh, wherever they go, what you want to do, and just all of that. But I was so free. It was my first time being that free in traveling, like walking wherever I like, talking to whoever I was led to talk to. And in that trip, let me tell y'all, it changed my life because in that trip, it was so powerful. Hillsong Worship was, we went to 3 concerts, worship concerts. Right, one of them was in the middle of the Sea of Galilee on a boat. Like that was life changing, especially when they sang Oceans. You know that song, Oceans? That took me out. It was an encounter with God that I will never forget. Even in Jerusalem, it was in Jerusalem that in that moment when I was in worship and they were singing the song Cornerstone, that's a throwback, Cornerstone. That's when I received my gift of my heavenly language and praying in the spirit. And nobody was laying hands, nobody was praying over me. It was literally the Spirit of God overshadowed me right in the middle of the crowd and literally shook me to the core and filled me with his fire of the Holy Spirit. And it was life changing. It was life changing because it was like, what would have happened if I would have allowed fear to hold me back from traveling by myself, and I would allow other people because they didn't say no, they couldn't make it, or if I allow fear or the anxiety of going by myself, flying for a long time, 13 hours, like that's a long time on the plane by myself with nobody with me. And if I would have allowed those thoughts and lies and doubt, I would have not received the experience that I was able to experience it in Israel, getting baptized, receiving my heavenly language, knowing and encountering Jesus in such a deep way. Like I'm telling you, I did not come home the same after that moment. I was crying every single day, crying in the presence of God. That's how strong it was for me. Like I was like, I need to go back. I need to go back. So that was my first time having an experience as a solo female traveler. And ever since then, it was such a breakthrough for me that the Lord had just opened doors for me to travel around the world to the nations. I have traveled to Dubai. I have traveled to Bali, Indonesia, to Thailand. I've been to Philippines on mission trips. And I'm going to talk about that more in another video. Mission trips, such a powerful thing to do. And it's a moment to thrive and explore the world and serve to where God is calling you. I have gone to Mexico. I have gone to Paris, London as a solo female traveler, all around the world. And it is such another level of freedom. And I realized and I know and I feel every time I have these solo experiences with Jesus, and I know I'm not by myself. I say solo female traveling as a physical, like, okay, I'm going by myself physically, but spiritually and for real, like, I'm not going by myself. I'm with Jesus. He is with me. He's my companionship. He's my travel buddy. He is my everything, and consult with him in everything that I do, especially with travels and making sure this is something that is in alignment with his will as well, not just me packing my bags and go, but also consulting with Jesus and be like, okay, Lord, is this a place that you want me to go? Which days, which everything was seasoned. Is this something that you want me to partner with you? Like, what is my assignment? Like, just praying and asking God, what is your assignment? Like, which places he wants you to go? And I feel there's a lot of women that are going to listen to this video that has this fear of traveling, fear of going by yourself. And I've been there. I've been there many times. Like I said, before I went to Israel, I was very fearful of going by myself and going on a plane for a long time, long periods of time. And for me, that was my breakthrough going to Israel, because it just, it was truly the Holy Spirit that guided my footsteps. And I have testimonies of how when I would go to these places and different countries, and I would meet some amazing people, like amazing people that I just knew it was God. And even the favor of God, like, it just follows you wherever you go, because when there's the grace of God and God is with you when you go to these places, there is favor, there is grace. And I love consulting with him about, okay, what should we do? Where places to go? What museums? Which places to like travel to, and all these things. And it's just so fun. Like, one of my favorite places that I went with him was Paris and London. When I tell you, it would felt like a honeymoon with Jesus. Like, it felt like a honeymoon with Jesus. And that's why I encourage so many single women in your single season. Do not take this moment for granted. Don't take this moment for granted. This is the time to really travel and allow God to really spread your wings and fly. And in Proverbs 3:5, it says, do not lean on your own understanding, but trust in the Lord in all your ways, and he will make your path straight. And don't allow the enemy to put these lies of fear of flying, fear of going by yourself, what happens if something happens to you. No, rebuke those lies in the name of Jesus, and know that God is with you. He's going to be with you every step of the way. And he's going to cover you. He's going to send his angels before you, to cover you, to guide your footsteps, right? And I notice that every time I come back home from wherever he takes me, it's, I just become more intimate, just more intimate with Jesus, just a more intimate level. And I just love him. And that's what's the part of communion, and the part of, as a single woman, embracing, learning how to have communion, intimacy with Jesus as your bridegroom, because that is teaching you how to be a bride for your husband to be, for your future husband. So, and sometimes, yes, the finances can be a concern. Like, you want to travel the world, and but the finances are not there. Let me tell you, he will provide for you. I have testimonies too that literally I will have, let's say, enough to go one way flight ticket. And I know God is calling me to go to the specific destination, and I will have enough for the return flight. And let me tell you, it will be like the day before, 2 days before, I will have money to buy my return flight. And sometimes you gotta walk in faith. You gotta walk in faith, because it's a test of faith. Are you gonna trust him as your provider, as Jehovah Jireh, that he's gonna provide for you? Or are you gonna lean on your understanding and trust in your bank account or your job more than God? So it's knowing that those desires of you wanting to travel the world, going to nations, is his desires. When you delight yourself in the Lord, he will give you the desires of your heart according to his will. And when it's according to his will, the provision will follow. There is nothing like to worry about that, because he's going to make sure you're taken care of, and your needs, food, accommodations, everything. Because he wants you to learn how to have a relationship with him too, and knowing that he's not going to leave you, he's not going to forsake you. So a couple of things that you can do, to be able to prepare. Let's say if you really want to go travel the world and you have a destination in mind that God has been speaking to you about, but you never travel by yourself. You're scared to go on planes. I have some suggestions for you to be able to, some practical steps. So, praying before choosing a destination, asking God where to go. You know, it could be local. You could start off being local, driving to probably 2 or 3 hours from your home, starting off there, just like little baby steps, and asking where to choose this destination. So it could be going traveling to, if you have a heart to go to Paris and London, like praying for the time, the season, when God you want me to go, right? Uh, Definitely getting in your word, devotional, discerning the time, be wise on how God speaks to you in different ways. Some of the ways that I know that Lord is calling me to a nation or a place to go and confirming, like, okay, this is the path to go. He will speak through anything, like books, advertisements, friends, relationships, online, anything. And it will be like, even like little details that it could be minor, but that's how God speaks. So be like attuned on how He wants to speak to you about a specific destination. Something that really helped me is to also have a travel journal. I have a travel journal that I really love to take with me, and it's a travel journal that I write all the revelations, what God has done during that time, the miracles, the testimonies, the people I've met, nice like little pictures or like tickets from museums. I have all of that in my travel journal. And it's such a beautiful reminder that I can go back and read those moments that I had with Jesus, with those adventures and honeymoons with Him, because it just shows like, wow, God, like you met me here. Like even when I was single, even when I was there with, far from family and friends, you were taking care of me. And knowing that He will make a way, He will make the path straight for you too. And also travel with a mindset of purpose and impact. It's not just sightseeing, it's not just looking at the nice museums and buildings and all of that stuff, but it's also about spiritual growth. Like, this is also about spiritual growth, building your relationship with Jesus more stronger and being in tune, right? So don't be so focused on the sightseeing part, but also focus on the spiritual growth that you will have while you are taking this trip with Him. So exciting news as well. I'm actually a travel advisor, so I want to help you to plan your first solo trip or your group girls trip that you are planning, that you want to go and travel the world with your girls for your birthday, bridal shower, uh, even like your first solo trip and you don't know where to start. Well, I am here for you. So the link for my website to contact me will be in the description box. So that way you can contact me and we can discuss more about your plans and what is the Lord leading you to travel to and make it happen, right? Because this is the time to travel the world. 2025 is the time to travel the world. No more shrinking back, no more pushback, but just believing that God wants you to believe bigger and He is preparing you to take you to another high level and intimacy with Him and to take advantage of your single season. And this is your time. This is your time, Queen. So rise up and spread your wings. So thank you so much for tuning into this video. Make sure to like, subscribe, and comment below which are some places that you would love to travel and that you have not gotten to. And let's see what the Lord does. I'm so excited for what the Lord has for you. All right, love ya, tribe. See ya next video.